Hi, and welcome to the Flinders Ranges. I'm going to have to set up. Believe it or not, I've been here for 24 hours and it's been torrential rain the entire time. We've just been driving and just enjoying the absolutely amazing scenery in and around these ranges, but we've been unable to get out. We did walk here and there and got absolutely soaked. The car is caked in mud, but it's just stopped this last 20 minutes, so I've pulled off the side of the road and decided I'm going to grab my camera out and we're going to take a couple of images. So let me set up and we'll talk you through this first shot. Okay, so let me show you what we've come to photograph today. We've come to photograph this beautiful little windmill. I actually think they're used to pump water out of the ground using the wind, and I think the water's called bore water, which is great for watering plants and things, but it's not drinkable, especially for humans. Not sure about animals, but especially for humans. So we have this absolutely glorious backdrop that you can see here. And I'm just playing with the composition slightly because I think I want to include some of this foreground scrub, the first image anyway, just to tell that story. And you can see that heavy bank of cloud out in the background, and yeah, it's everywhere. Yeah, for the last 24 hours this has just been torrential rain. So I don't know whether I actually want to go down a bit and lose some of this foreground, because this part is a little bit, it's a little bit empty and doesn't really tell the story so much. So I'm thinking, can I move slightly towards you and just use that scrub, more of a line that takes you into the story. I think that is a little better. Yeah, I think that's a little better. I can always crop this 16:9 if necessary. But yeah, it's absolutely glorious. It's beautiful. So I've got a 32-64 on, mainly because I don't want to throw those mountains in the background, those ranges, even further into the background than they would if I put a wide angle lens. And I'm even considering backing up 100 meters or so and putting on the longer lens. So we'll see how we go after this one. So yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. And I think what I might do is a horizontal pano of this. It's going to be shorter exposure. I don't need a longer exposure. So I'm going to start by giving myself more on the left than I tend to need. And I'm going to focus in on that windmill. I'm just going to make sure and check we haven't. I'm just going to put 2-second timer on. 2-second timer's on. I'm going to give that the first shot. And I'll do a horizontal panorama for the time being. Everything is locked. I'm in manual, so it's manual focus. I've set f16, shutter speed's manual, ISO's manual, and I've locked that focus. So I'm just going to take a series of images overlapping by about a third on each one, and then a little bit more than I think I need. Perfect. Now, I'm not going to focus on that background because I really don't think, with all that cloud and that mist, I don't need it to be pin sharp. F16 on this and let it fall away. And I am going to flip this composition into vertical orientation. Oops, would help if I actually got the camera in. There we go. Camera's locked in. And I'm just panning round. Now you can see that green line. I want that green line to be green all the way along, meaning I'm completely level, and that makes stitching very easy. Let's come back, focus and lock our focus again, and then we should be able to just, oops, let's make sure we're not locked. And again, and in this one, we might have to take more images, but we've got more sky. We've got more headroom. And I think these are going to be mainly black and white, I think. I might try colour at first because of this beautiful red sandy soil. And these little tufts of yellow on these grasses that have died off. And I think the combination of the two is really nice. And we'll do one more. Let's come back a bit. This last one is slightly off, but not by much. Done. Okay, I may have found something here. So there's a gnarly old tree, which looks absolutely wonderful, and sort of arches over, and I'm wondering if I can use that arch in some sort of way to capture the windmill beyond. I've got to be extra careful this time with shutter speed because that windmill is now moving, so the wind's picking up behind me. So we'll see what we can do. We might have to push up the ISO or widen our aperture. We'll just have to wait and see. So I'm going to have to get low for a couple of reasons. One, to put this tree higher up in the frame, and two, to be able to get it high enough so that that windmill is sort of in the leading arms, if the trees have arms, of this tree in front of us. So let me just see if it's going to work. I'm not sure it will, but I'm going to give it the best I can. And immediately I think we need to get even lower. Or do we? Yeah, it looks like that's there. Yeah, it is in there. It is in the part that I wanted it to be. Now I think this is probably going to be a square crop, so we might as well have a little look at what that's going to look like. So let's check square crop, and we may need to zoom out. There you go. Just so that that right hand branch isn't clipped, and I may just drop slightly and get some of that foreground just like that. windmill itself in the centre of that composition, and that looks about right. I will have to focus stack this, and as that's moving, I'm going to start with that windmill, and don't know if I need to be a touch lower because part of it is in the clouds. Nope, I'll go with it. I like the way part of it's in the clouds. So let me just focus in on that. And as it's spinning, we're going to have to increase a couple of things. I will have to focus stack this, as I've said. So I'm going to come down to about F11, and I'm going to also increase the ISO because I want a fairly snappy 640, a fairly snappy. Looks like it's calming down. I don't really want to go too low. Well, it's a 30th of a second. I don't think that's going to capture it, but I'm going to give it a go just to see how far off I am. And I'll just preview that image. And there's a very slight bit of movement there, very slight. It's not bad at all, but it's not fast enough, so I'm going to go a little higher. 1250. F9. I think that might do us. 100th of a second. Let's capture that. Little preview. Let's scroll in. Pin sharp. Okay, so if we've got that, I'm now going to focus in on this tree. Let's make sure. Getting focus. I don't mind anything else being soft, especially in the background. And I'm just going to take a couple of images coming down this tree because I want the tree to be nice and sharp in this one. That's that old thing that you shoot with the light you've got. The light that we're anticipating here may not reach us. There are loads of factors that might work against us. A mountain range, low cloud, a tiny gap, possible rain, but I've turned around and I'm going to shoot the way again, counter to our subject. I'm going to focus again on our little tree, and yes, I think that might work. I will have to focus stack and I will also have to exposure blend. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm just going to focus in on this tree. Just going to lock on that, and then I'm going to capture as much of that sky that I can without blowing out those highlights. And you can see there's some colour in there. I'm just hoping that it reaches all the way, but it's only, what, a fifth of the way across the cloud, across the sky. So may or may not. So I've captured that, great. It's really to capture that band, but the colours, those blues and reds are absolutely beautiful. So what I should be able to do now is just come up, and I'm now going to retake that with this foreground, and I'm probably going to focus it right in this foreground as well. So we've got those two, and I'll take one more of this old tree in the background. It's a bit of scrub, and I'm going to go back down, keeping an eye on that histogram. So I'm playing with that histogram, showing that there's a slight spike on that right hand side, but I think I can claw that back. I think I'm able to claw that back. So I'm just going to take that, and I'm going to take one last one of that tree. Afraid we've got to run, Keep an eye on the forest, please. The light's on, the light's here. Oh dear. Wow. The light's here, so, oh wow, it's transformed it. Transformed it. It's not moving. I'm snapping away. How beautiful is this? Oh wow. We were hoping it was going to come through, and it did, and I'm so pleased because our shadows are off to the left. I'm waiting a little bit more. I want the light to hit those hills in the background, which they are. Okay, we can do a close-up of that. Wow. Amazing. Just shooting now. I'm just capturing as much of this as I can. How spectacular. And now, we never thought, we just absolutely did not think we were going to get anything like this. I've got this, I'm going to move and put that in the middle. And so put it in the middle of the scene. We're great because our shadow is still being pushed to the right. So let's get this one. Okay. Oh, wow. Let's get this. You're going to see how much the black and whites from earlier on, which I said I'd do in black and white for the moodiness and, you know, the introduced contrast through the textures compared to the phenomenal change with a bit of colour. And again, this is not like me. I'm shooting away from the sun, and you know that's not a thing that I often do. But wow. Wow, wow, wow. And there's light over on the left hand side as well. It's really, really kicking off now. I'm going to do, I just need to make sure that we are completely level. I'm going to do just make sure that stays level. It does-ish. Good enough, I think. I'm going to do a panorama. So I'm going to focus in on you. And I'm going to, I just love the cloud sitting on top of that little range. The light is spectacular. So that's that, and now I'm going to focus on the mountain range. So a focus stacked panorama. Whoops, I meant to lock it there. And done. Wow, that light is just about to, we're going to lose it in a minute, but I'm just going to take a moment and just really enjoy this. I'm going to take a single shot now, capture the entire scene in a single image. Well, two actually, so I'm going to focus stack it, 3 images possibly. So there's one. I love that transition. I love that transition. I'm going to focus on the background range. 2, and then I'm going to focus on this foreground. How spectacular is that? Okay, that really is it from the foothills of the Flinders Ranges. I hope you've enjoyed yourself. I am just awestruck. What an amazing afternoon. 24 hours of rain, and then we get a show like this. Amazing. Okay, thank you. Gotta go and feed Jack and myself. So please look after yourself, look after your loved ones. Till next time, see ya.